Yeah, for tonight we're going to start on Lamed Zion.
So what are we going to do about the Gemara share then?
I'm going to do them tonight. I'm going to do both tonight.
Okay.
I'm going to do both tonight. Lo matzar b'smi. We said, according to Rabbi Yehuda, the sukkah has to be made also of arba minim. So the Gemara says, I understand. Lo matzar b'minim yeshev l'motel. The person doesn't have the, material from the arba minim to make a sukkah. He's not going to build a sukkah. How could that be? To teach me sukkah shel kol davar. In fact, the sukkah can be made. Chachamim hold sukkah can be made of anything. V'chein be'Ezra, we see by Ezra Hasofer Omer, Tzuhu Ahar. He told the people who had come back with him, go to the mountain. They view ale zayis, bring olive trees, ale et shemen, oil trees, ale hadas, ale tmarm, date trees, ale et zavot, v'asu sukkos kakos. And there's in that list are other types of trees that are not part of the arba minim. So what does Rabbi Yehuda say against that? Rabbi Yehuda Sover, Hani litfanos. He doesn't disagree that the walls of the sukkah can be made by anything. What he's saying is the schach has to be made of the arba minim. And that's why the pasuk says, Ale hadas va'ale tvarm va'ale etzavos is the schach. Utnan, we have a Mishnah, Mesachachin ben Nesorim. You can use planks, wooden planks, for schach. The Rabbi Yehuda. Alma, sivi kardidikla mina deluvahu, implying that even the moss and the roots of a palm tree is part of the meaning of the arba minim. Shma mina, that it's a right for Rabbi Yehuda. Rabbi Yehuda, our boss, is it true that Rabbi Yehuda said that the schach has to be of the arba minim and can't be made of other things? Vatanya. You use cedar wood. Sheyesh ben arba tfachim. Now, if it's 4 tfachim wide, divrei hakol psula. So we learned this before. It's going to be possible. Ein ben arba tfachim. If these wooden planks do not have arba tfachim, so Rav Meir poisel. Rav Meir still said it was possible. Rabbi Yehuda machshir. Rav Meir shem yesh bein nesel nesel kamolei nesel. If there was space in between each plank, at least the size of a plank, meiniach pesel b'nei, sure you put kosher schach there and it's kosher. So here it seems that Rabbi Yehuda is allowing even cedars, which is not one of the arba minim. And for the Gemara, my eres hadas. Eres here means the hadas. There's 10 kinds of eres. Shenemar 18 b'midbar eres shita v'hadas. One of the types of eres is hadas. Rav Meir amar filu b'mashiach. That you don't need to use the min of the lulav to do the eged, to tie the lulav together, even a string. Tanya Rav Meir ma'aseh b'yakir Yerushalayim she'yoidnas uvim b'gimonia shalzav. They would use golden thread. Armalam Mishamar has no proof from there. B'mino hayoidnas uvim, below the golden thread, next to the lulav itself, was the min of lulav. Armalam Rabbi Lahana megat le'oshana de'beirash kalusa. Rabbi said to those who were making the lulav for the Reish Kalusa, Ki gadlisa or Shana Reish Kalusa, share beis yad. Leave underneath where we do the eged, the lulav itself, like we do. There's a real lulav underneath that binder that holds the lulav together. You don't want to grab the lulav by the eged. You want to go grab the lulav by itself. Otherwise, otherwise it'd be a chatzitza. However, if it's meant to add beauty to the lulav, it's not a chatzitza, and therefore it's not a problem if you hold that. Don't hold the lulav with your handkerchief, because it'll be a chatzitza to be in lekicha tamav aleka. You need a pure lekicha, and in that case, it would not be lekicha. However, Rava Amar, lekicha yedei davar acher shma lekicha. If you hold on to something via something else, it's still called lekicha. Amar Rava Menami yolad lekicha yedei davar acher shma lekicha. How do you know that holding on to something through another vehicle is still a lekicha? Isnan ezov kotzar mesavko b'chut uvakush b'toivel umala. When you bind the hyssop that you're going to use to dip into the mechatas, to be the paraduma, to be metayar atomi maze, and let's say it's very small, you can enlarge it through thread or through something else that you attach to it, and you can be toivel it in the water. And you see, even not holding on to the ezel, but something else is holding on to it, it's considered lekicha. It says v'lokach v'tovel amrachmana, and this seems to be not a lekicha tamo. At a lav shmamino lekicha yidei davar acher shma lekicha. The Gemara rejects the proof. B'mai dilma shani osam kiven the chabre kegufa dami. Listen, there you attached it to the ezel. Here we're talking about holding on to a lulav with a handkerchief. So maybe that a lekicha yidei davar acher would not be a lekicha. So the Gemara brings another proof mehach. Nafal mishvoiferes lashoites. You have a device that's holding on, has the ashes of a paraduma, and there's some water in one of the receptacles, and it happens to fall into the area where the ashes are, possible, because it can't just happen to fall. You have to place it. But if he put it there, it would be kosher. And this is a lekicha al davarach there. You shouldn't push the lulav into the holder. The leaves will come off and it'll serve a chatzitza. What do you mean? If the leaf of the lulav falls off, it's not going to be a chatzitza, because min b'mina, it's the same species, it's not a chatzitza. You shouldn't cut leaves off the lulav while it's in the egghead. And because we're concerned that some of the cut leaves will be a chatzitza. Again, he explained that a min b'mina is not chatzitza. Amar Hadash shel mitzvah asur lahariach. You should not smell the hadas because it's been designated lemitzvah and not for smelling. However, etrog shel mitzvah muter lahariach. The etrog you can smell. My time. Hadas l'reicha koi. The whole purpose of the hadas is for smell. Ki aktzie, when you separated it and designated it for mitzvah, merecha atzit, you removed it from its function for reach and said it's for mitzvah. Etrog de lachila koi. Etrog is meant to eat. So ki aktze, when you designated it for l'shem mitzvah, it's machila aktze. You took it out of the status of food. And therefore, by smelling it, it's not a problem. Amar hadas b'machuber, a hadas that is still connected to the ground, you can smell it. We're talking about on Shabbos. But etrog b'mechuber asur l'ariach bo, you can't smell it. My time. Hadas l'ariach bo yisharis le'las l'mikzeh. If you're permitted to smell it, you're not going to come to pull it off because that's what it's there for. Etrog l'achila koi. But since the whole point of etrog is to eat it, yisharis le, if you're permitted to smell it, asi l'mikzeh, you'll come to cut it off, and we don't want to do that on Shabbos. Amar Rav lulav b'yomi, etrog is small. When you take the lulav, you hold the lulav in the right hand, the etrog in the left. My time. Hani tlasla mitzvahs v'hai chad mitzvah. The lulav has three of the meaning, and the etrog is only one, so you should hold the one with the three in the more choshev dike hand, the right hand. Amar le Rav Yirmiyah Rav Zrika. My time l'vrachina el natilas lulav. Why is the bracha al natilas lulav? Why isn't it al natilas etrog? And for the Gemara, it's the tallest. Right? What do you mean? Lift the etrog so it's higher than the lulav. The Gemara says we're not talking about when you hold it. When the palm tree is the tallest, is taller than an etrog tree. So it's the tallest of the minim. It's taller than a willow tree. It's taller than a hadas tree. Therefore, it's the most chashuv. Halacha says, "Machzikim salulav aminim ha'gurvim bo b'yad yamin v'sayetrog b'yad small," like Rabbah. Some say you should take the shlah, and the Magen Avraham says pick up the esrog first with your left hand. And some say you should pick up the Shari Tshuva says to pick up the lulav with your right hand first. What about if you're left-handed? Some say you should do it the way everyone does it. A left-handed person should hold the lulav in his right hand. And some say you should do it in reverse. Like you do, like the way people do it with tefillin. We reversed the tefillin. And that's the minig. Says the Mishnah, in what part, when did they shake the lulav? In the Halim. The Mishnah says, B'hodu Lashem tchila v'sof. When you say Hodu Lashem, beginning and end. Uva'an Hashem Oshian. The Rebbe Sil. B'sham Bayorim Af Ba'an Hashem Atzlicham. You also shake. Om Rabbi Kiva. Tzoifa Yisi B'ro Gamliel Rabbi Yoshua. I used to watch Rabbi Gamliel Rabbi Yoshua Shekalam Ayu and Ani Mesluveim. Vehem Lo Na'anu El Ba'an Hashem Oshian. They took by An Hashem Oshian. And for the ask the Gemara Nanua Mandik, who's talking about Nanuim here? How did you jump into the din of Nanuim? So the Gemara says it's appropriate. We discussed in the previous Mishnah that if you have a lulav that's at least 3 tefachim, you can shake. And the Ka'ama, this Mishnah is saying Heichim and Anim. And now this Mishnah is picking up on that to say when do you shake? It's not Nosum Shtei Alechem. On Shavuos, we bring 2 sheep and 2 breads. You have to weigh them. You pick up the sheep, you put the lechem on top of the sheep, if you raise it, maybe, like we do by the lulav, you take forward and backwards. Malu moiri, lift it and then lower it. You move it in the direction of the far directions, in front of you, behind you, and the 2 sides. And malu moirid l'misha shamayim v'aretz shalom. You raise and lower to the people, to the Hashem, who is heaven and earth below. The Marava Masloachi, Amrav Chama Baruch, Amrav Yosef Rav Tanina, Moilechu maybe Kidelatza Ruchos Rose. You do it to all 4 sides to prevent the bad 4 winds. Malu moirid, up and down, Kidelatza Tlolim Roim, to prevent bad storms. Now we're going Lamed Ches Amad Aleph 38.